Hello, my name is Jessica, and I'm going to be going over the summary of assessments for the student Weston. Weston is 7 years old in the second grade and loves Ninja Camp, Haunted Legos, and his iPad. The assessments given were the Wiley-Blevins Phonemic Awareness, the Core Phonics Assessment, the Core Fluency Assessment, a Qualitative Spelling Inventory, and I will explain which inventory was given when we get to that point, and a writing assessment. For the Wiley-Blevins, instruction begins in any area that has not yet reached mastery. For Weston, this is rhyming. An example of a response when asked if cat and hat rhymed was no. Another rhyming response when asked to supply a word that rhymed with rack and sack, he replied sat. There are many activities that we can begin Weston working with to be able to get him fluent in this area. The next assessment given was the Core Phonics Assessment. Instruction again in this assessment begins where the student has not reached benchmark. Benchmark being that they can identify every part of each section of the assessment. For this assessment, it has shown that Weston has not reached benchmark in consonant sounds. Again, there are many activities that we can do to help Weston be able to solidify those consonant sounds so that we can move into the long and short vowel sounds. Weston was then given a core fluency assessment. Weston is estimated to be in the 25th percentile. When a student is not considered a fluent reader, a phonics or sight word assessment should be given as well to help identify what areas need to be worked on. Because I had already given Weston the core phonics assessment, I found that and knew that he needed to begin working with consonant sounds and recognizing them. The next assessment given was a qualitative spelling inventory assessment. The assessment that I chose to give to Weston was the primary spelling inventory. During this inventory, he was able to spell 5 out of the 26 words correctly and scored a 7 out of 7 in both initial and final consonants. For this assessment, instruction begins where a student misses 2 or more feature points. For Weston, that is the short vowel area. Weston needs to practice representing short vowels correctly. So some example words for his first word study would be trap, trick, truck, drum, and more. I decided to add in a lot of words that had those diagraphs and blends because he scored very well in that area. So I wanted to make sure that we were going to continue him working on those consonant blends, but then also getting the short vowels as well. For the writing assessment, Weston was asked to write a narrative about a story that has happened to him. We discussed that narratives are something where you're describing something that's happened in your life. It can be something good that's happened, it can be something sad or that made you really angry. And so we sat and we had a long conversation and we discussed about a time when his brother really frustrated him. So I told him, you know what, we're going to sit down and we're going to brainstorm. You're going to write a few things that happened the day that your brother frustrated you and hurt your feelings. Excuse me. And I'm going to do the same as well, but I'm going to write my own story. So we brainstormed. He told me that he was ready to write. So I told him, great, you're going to write your story. I'm going to write my story. And when we're both done, we're going to go over them together. He wrote his story, and I decided to attach what he wrote on the screen so that you could see it as well. He wrote, when my brother pinched me, it made me feel sad because I feel sad because it hurted. For purpose and organization, Weston's writing earned a score of 1 of 3 because there was no organization of an event and there's no opening or closure. For development and elaboration, Weston's writing earned a score of 1 because the narrative provides minimal elaboration using few to no details or descriptions. For conventions, Weston's writing earned a score of 0 because the response demonstrates little to no command of conventions, including the infrequent use of punctuation and spelling. For instruction, a suggested activity that would be great for Weston would be to begin a family message journal. These journals really help to teach a lot of different purposes, a lot of different skills, and serve many different purposes. Not only do they serve the purpose of teaching us Weston how to write a narrative and how to explain things that have happened throughout his day, but it will also serve as a great model for him to see correct punctuation and thoughts being put out on paper. I want to thank you for observing this summary of assessments, and I very much look forward to seeing Weston's growth. Thank you.